Before skyscrapers and subways, there was Manhattan, the island of many hills. This was home to the Lenape, who lived in harmony with forests, rivers, and marshes for thousands of years. Their villages lined the shores, and their lives followed the rhythm of the seasons. Manhattan was a vibrant homeland, not an empty wilderness. Then in 1524, Giovanni da Verrazzano glimpsed the harbor, meeting the Lenape in a fleeting encounter between worlds. Nearly a century later, Henry Hudson arrived, searching for a passage to Asia, but finding a river rich in beaver pelts. His report sparked Dutch interest. This was about business, not religious freedom. Dutch merchants established trading posts, planting the first seeds of a European presence. For the Lenape, this marked the beginning of profound change. Trade brought new goods, but also conflict and disruption. The world of Manhattan was about to vanish. The hills would soon be leveled, the forests cleared, and a new city would rise. But the memory of the Lenape and their land endures beneath the streets of New York. Every stone and stream tells a story of what came before. The island's transformation had begun, and nothing would ever be the same. In 1624, the Dutch West India Company founded New Netherland, building a fort and a town at Manhattan's southern tip, New Amsterdam. Their goal: control the fur trade at this strategic gateway to the continent. In 1626, Peter Minuit famously purchased Manhattan from the Lenape for goods worth 60 guilders, a deal built on a misunderstanding of land ownership. New Amsterdam grew into a chaotic, bustling port home to Dutch, Germans, Africans, and more. Over 18 languages filled its streets. Diversity was practical. The company needed workers, not purity. The colony was no Puritan utopia. It was a marketplace of cultures and commerce. Peter Stuyvesant arrived in 1647, imposing strict rules, but the people resisted. They valued independence and self-governance. New Amsterdam's spirit was stubborn, diverse, and driven by trade. The seeds of New York's future character, tolerance, ambition, and resilience, were already taking root. The Dutch experiment was short-lived, but its legacy would shape the city forever. The world was watching, and change was coming. The city's destiny was about to shift again. New Amsterdam was ready for its next chapter. The English were on the horizon. The city's story was just beginning. The experiment had set the stage for something even bigger. In 1664, English warships sailed into New Amsterdam's harbor, demanding surrender. Peter Stuyvesant wanted to fight, but the townspeople, merchants, not soldiers, refused. With no support, Stuyvesant surrendered without a shot. The colony became New York, named for the Duke of York. The transition was smooth. Property and religious freedoms were promised. Under English rule, the city grew, attracting English, Scottish, and Irish immigrants. But slavery expanded, with enslaved Africans building the city's infrastructure. Their struggle for freedom is a vital, often overlooked part of New York's story. By the 1700s, New York was a center of revolutionary activity. The Sons of Liberty protested British taxes, and the city became a battleground in the American Revolution. Washington's army lost the city in 1776. The British occupied it for 7 years. After the war, New York briefly became the first U.S. capital. On Wall Street, George Washington was inaugurated as the nation's first president. The city had survived war and occupation, emerging as a symbol of the new nation. Its future would be shaped by waves of change and ambition. The fires of revolution had forged a new identity. New York was ready to grow. The 19th century transformed New York into a metropolis. The Erie Canal, completed in 1825, connected the city to the Midwest, making it America's economic gateway. The port boomed, Wall Street rose, and the city earned the nickname Empire City. Millions of immigrants, Irish, arrived, building the city and changing its character. Millions of immigrants, Germans, arrived, building the city and changing its character. Millions of immigrants, Italians, arrived, building the city and changing its character. Millions of immigrants, Jews, arrived, building the city and changing its character. Tenements overflowed, and the city struggled with poverty, disease, and social unrest. The draft riots of 1863 revealed deep divisions. Yet visionaries planned for the future. The 1811 Commissioner's Plan created Manhattan's grid. Central Park offered green space amid chaos. Engineering feats like the Croton Aqueduct brought fresh water. The Brooklyn Bridge, completed in 1883, linked Manhattan and Brooklyn, a marvel of connection. Despite hardship, the city kept building, dreaming, and growing. Each wave of newcomers added to its energy. The city's skyline and spirit were rising. New York was becoming the city of the future. After the Civil War, New York's wealth soared in the Gilded Age. Tycoons like Vanderbilt and Carnegie built fortunes and funded great cultural institutions, the Met, the Museum of Natural History. Fifth Avenue became Millionaires' Row, but the city was also a center for the arts and sciences. In 1898, the five boroughs united as Greater New York, creating the modern metropolis. The subway opened in 1904, connecting the city and fueling its outward growth. Limited by geography, New York built upward. Steel frames and elevators gave rise to the skyscraper. The Flatiron, Woolworth, Chrysler, and Empire State Buildings reshaped the skyline. Broadway, Tin Pan Alley, and the Harlem Renaissance made the city a cultural powerhouse. In 1886, the Statue of Liberty arrived, a beacon for immigrants and a symbol of hope. New York's ambition, diversity, and creativity defined an era. The city's silhouette became a global icon. Every block told a story of reinvention. The city was ready for the challenges of a new century. The world was watching New York. The 20th century tested New York like never before. The Great Depression brought hardship, but the city kept building. Public works, bridges, and the Empire State Building. During World War II, New York was a hub for the Allied effort, its port and factories vital to victory. In 1945, the United Nations made New York its home, cementing the city's global status. Post-war, the city faced decline, suburban flight, fiscal crisis, and rising crime. But New York is resilient. The 1980s brought a Wall Street boom and a slow recovery. The city cleaned up, reduced crime, and invested in its future. Waves of immigrants continued to shape its culture. New York endured 9/11s, mourned, rebuilt, and emerged stronger. Today, on July 4, 2025, New York stands as a beacon of diversity, commerce, and reinvention. It is a city that never sleeps, always changing. From Manhattan to metropolis, its story is one of transformation. The world looks to New York for inspiration. The city's journey continues, forever reinventing itself.